Today, I decided to put my suit on, and because I'm gonna talk about a very important subject for every one of you guys, alright? So, today we're gonna talk a little bit about environments and how I guess it can make or break who you are as an individual. Now, what is the point? How does an environment influence you as an individual? The whole point of being a human is that everything that happens around you, may it be something positive, something negative, some traumatic experience, everything is going to influence you to a certain degree. And so you need to be the kind of person that decides how to improve or how to change your environment when it is necessary. I'm going to give you a little bit of a story example of what I'm talking about. So, roughly a little, almost 2 years ago, I was still living in France with my parents. I was just like couch surfing between my mom's house, my dad's house, and I guess a friend's house, and maybe like even like a hostel or like a hotel or whatever. And it wasn't really a good time, right? I was in a very shit position because I wanted to go all in on my business, but I was still not very competent as an individual, I guess. So I didn't have the skills to get paid. That's the biggest problem I had. And so I decided to look at everything that I was doing in all the different areas and everything that I had access to in the moment, I guess, and asked myself, how can I change my environment to fit who I want to become better? And how is that going to impact me by doing that change? Because I already had started changing myself to fit my environment. But you also need to change your environment if you want the changes to yourself to have a significant or like more important, more significant meaning, I guess. So I looked at all of my options and I was like, okay, well, I could go flatting with one of my friends who lives in the same town as I do, and we could get a place together. He said he wouldn't mind sharing the rent. That would be a pretty good idea. And at the same time, I would be basically just staying in the same place like just forever. So I wouldn't be able to really just do that many things differently than usual. And I wouldn't really grow as a person. Maybe new experience because I'm living with a friend, but completely different. So I decided to look at all of my other options, and one that stood out clearly was that my father was born and raised in New Zealand as a Kiwi, right? And I was born, so like he went over to France and got his French citizenship by marrying my mother because she was French, and or she is French. And from that, I was like, you know what? I've lived in France for over 21, 22 years. And what if I just went to New Zealand like that? What if I just went there and just got away from my parents and just got my shit in order? Just grew up a bit. You know what I mean? Get out of the house and figure it out on my own. Get a job or get a source of income, meet some or see some new family members that I hadn't met before, or like that I haven't met in a long time, and genuinely have a very different experience than what I'm used to back in France. I was like, you know what? This might actually be a great idea. So I decided to just jump ship and just sell all of my stuff. I had a full gaming setup that I sold, and with the money, I bought myself a plane ticket and I just flew over to New Zealand. Once I got here, I was like, you know what, this is a very massive, big like change. I need to adapt. And so over the course of like maybe like 3 months when I got here, I had to adapt, of course. But that forced to kind of just like change everything that I was used to, I guess. The food I eat, the people I talk to, the language I speak, the skills I develop, the understanding of the local area, what it's about, everything else, the culture. And it kind of just opened my eyes to having a more broader perspective to how I approached the world. And so over the course of those 3 months, I was living with my grandmother, and I noticed that I was kind of just living off her help, and I didn't really want to become a burden that much because she didn't have that much income. Like, she's old, she's retired, she doesn't have that much money. So I didn't want to be a burden to her as much for a longer period of time. So I told her, and we agreed, hey, wouldn't it be better for me to move out or go flighting with other people, or do you want me to pay rent or something like that? And she said like, yeah, I would want you to pay rent actually, because I can't cover all of your expenses with only what I'm earning. And I said, okay, well, that's not a problem. So I'll just send you a bit of money and I can rent out of your like secondary bedroom, I guess, for a little bit. And then from there, I decided, you know what, it's actually probably a better idea if I go outside and I flight with other people, so that way I can experience something new, something different. So I did that, and then I basically just went to these other people's houses, just like checked it out, everything. And I found this one which was pretty good, which was nearby the city center, not too far. Could take the bus to get there pretty quickly, and they had a home gym, so I was like, oh, fuck yeah, taking this one. And even though I had a few small problems and things with the current tenants, I guess, from that place, it was a pretty good experience, because at this time, like, I got a new job, I started working at a restaurant, first time working as a waiter, all of these sorts of things. Like, I landed my first client, my paid client, then I started working with a bunch of people, started talking with more people, started getting better at social interaction, and just pushing myself to do a bit better every single day. And so what ended up happening was, from there, I decided, you know what, I need to change my environment again, because I'm not in a position where I can fully grow, if you know what I mean. And at this time, I was making a decent amount of money from the clients I had, so I decided to network with the people from my mentorship group that I'm in and talk to them and see if there were anybody in the local area that would be interested in like flighting together, getting like a 2-bedroom apartment, meeting up and being like, you know what, we could just rent a place here and just share the costs. And since we're both in the same mentorship program to get better at business and to get better at life in general, well, we would benefit from each other's company. So I decided with this friend, and we got a place in the city center, which was probably the last place. When you go back and you scroll back up through the videos I've recorded, like, I moved places recently, like maybe like less than a month ago, I think. And so like if you scroll back to 2 months ago, you'll see a different background. And that was when I was back at the other place. And so a lot of things changed, a lot of things happened, but honestly, going from France to New Zealand to, like, I was renting with my family, and then renting with random people, and then renting with people I trusted, and then renting back with my family right now. I've got a 2-bedroom apartment, and I've got one of my family members that is renting out of the other room, so that way we can split costs, which is kind of expensive, I guess, in the city, but it's roughly the same price range as I guess what I'm used to. it doesn't really change that much. Honestly, it's not too bad. And so the whole point of why I wanted to tell you this story is, as you can see, my growth as a person was completely impacted by those changes I made that have gotten me to the place I am today. And so not only did I change myself, but I also changed my environment, which are the two most important things if you want to grow as an individual. And so you have two choices. Either you change your environment to fit who you want to become, or you let your environment change you, subconsciously deteriorating your current state into something way worse. You have two options. Those are the two options that are present. And what I wanted you to understand is that if you don't make a choice is going to be made for you. It is not because you're not choosing that nothing's going to happen. Everything's happening constantly, like simultaneously all the time. So if you don't do anything, something is going to be chosen for you. You're not going to have the power of choice. But you do have the power of choice right now. So right now you have to decide for yourself, is my environment good enough to fit who I want to be and who I am? It's not only the environment, it's not just your house or your apartment, it's also the people you surround yourself with. I was surrounding myself with a lot of people when I was back in France that used to play video games, that used to just fucking be a vegetable all day, not really do anything, or like watch sports all day, and they didn't have any drive. So since you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, since everybody was playing video games, I was playing video games, right? So made sense because it was part of my environment. It was like just like a bare truth, I guess. And now that I don't have anybody to play video games with anymore, I might like boot up a video game like maybe like once or twice a week, like maybe like for like 20 minutes or like 30 minutes or like maybe an hour max. But like I get bored now. Like it's not a part of my identity anymore to play video games. I don't care. Like what I care about right now is getting better so I can improve myself, so I can help my family and I can provide for them. Like I know that my future wife wants to have a certain degree, a certain kind of man to be with. And that's who I want to progress towards to become. I know so far I'm not in a position where financially I can provide for another person 100% just yet. But that is my goal and what I'm progressing towards. So I want to be able to do that. I also want to be able to have meaningful connections with people that are doing the same thing. So that means I need to put myself in an environment that makes sense. I don't want to put myself in an environment where I don't relate to people. Because if I put myself in an environment where everybody plays video games, or everybody watches porn, or everybody just is a degenerate all day, drinks alcohol, smokes weed, all that kind of stuff, then I'm not gonna feel good because that's not me, right? And so you have to choose for yourself. If all of your friends are junkies and drug addicts, maybe if you want to stop if you want to stop being a junkie, then maybe you need to cut them out because they're an influence on how you perceive the world. So you need to think for yourself, is the position I'm in right now, is the environment, are the people I'm talking to the right people that I want to have in my life? It could also be your girlfriend or your wife. Maybe they are a negative influence on your life, actually. They're not a positive. Yeah, maybe you might have sex with them once in a while, and that's pretty cool, and that feels nice. But you might bond with them from time to time on the couch, watch a movie with them, but are they the kind of person you want to be with in like 5, 10, 20 years in the future? Or aren't they a person that deteriorates and tears you down on the back end? Why do you not never do this for me? Why aren't you doing this for me? Like, you never take me out. You never buy me flowers. You don't want to have that at home for 20 years. It's very degrading. So you need to have higher standards not only about your environment, but also about the people you surround yourself with, because that matters way more than you actually think. I said this earlier. If you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, then why wouldn't you surround yourself with people that actually have the same aspirations and drive and goal as you do? For me, it's the same thing regardless of if you want to spend your life, or if you want to go into business, or if you want to have a relationship, or if you want to be loved by your family. If you have toxic family members, just fucking stop talking to them. It's very easy. Just block them, and if they keep trying to get in contact with you, tell them like, hey, fuck off, like leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And then just put a line in the sand. Just say like, hey, I'm putting my foot in the sand, and you're not fucking around anymore. Same thing with your girlfriend or your wife. If she's trying to cross your boundaries and teasing you all the time and being like super fucking annoying, you need to do this. And if they say like, and they continue being annoying, you're fucking annoying, why are you saying this, you don't love me, just say like, okay, well fucking leave then. You need to have enough self-respect and dignity to tell them like, you know what, I care more about myself than being with you. And then that's gonna shatter their ego. You need to respect yourself more. You need to love yourself before you can love someone else. Because if you don't, you're just gonna attach onto them, you're gonna leech off of them, regardless of if it may be emotional leeching or financial leeching, which probably they are doing to you. And you need to decide for yourself, what kind of life do I want? What kind of environment fits that life? What kind of people do I want to surround myself with? Do I want to play video games? Do I want to become a streamer? Do I want to become an influencer? Do I want to become an astronaut? Do I want to become a scientist? Do I want to become a magnificent business owner that has so many connections and so many different sources of income that nobody can counteract what he does? You can become very specific with who you want to be and what kind of environment that looks like in the future. And then use that as a goal to go there. It's like, I know exactly what I want. This is where I need to go to get it. That's what I'm talking about. So, pretty condensed video, but regardless, we are here every single day to give you guys a little bit of information on an education on like what I've done in the past and how it can help you as well. Like understanding exactly like, okay, where you are right now is extremely important. How do you get to where you want to be is extremely important as well. Understanding many things and educating yourself. Knowledge is power. So that's why I wanted to share these topics on these different videos with you guys, so that way it can help you in your life, improve yourself. And yes, I am here posting every single day, and I appreciate every single one of you guys watching until the end of the video. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one tomorrow. And if you have any different topics that you would like me to talk about, feel free to recommend those in the comments. Thank you for watching. It's a beautiful day. Time to get back to work. And I will see you in the next one.